Hi, everybody. So yeah, I'm a software engineer. I've worked across a number of industries actually, and I recently moved into app development. And I, in my spare time, I wrote a game, and over about 6 months, and then I was excited to release it on Android and iOS. I asked my friends to have a look at it and rate it if they liked it. I submitted it into app review websites and things like that, but I wasn't really sure what's the next step for my app. So I decided I would use the iOS and the Android ad facilities. And then I thought, well, why not set them up each side over the same time and for the same amount of money and see how that looks and what the results are. So I'd like to share that with you today. So first of all, let's just have a look at how the app ads work. So in the App Store or something similar, a user enters a search phrase. I have an example here on the right. And then as a result, they see a list of apps that are associated with that search phrase. At the top of that list, we see ads. And the way those ads are chosen is that the ads that are associated with the search phrase enter into an auction. And the highest bid wins the ad space. What's nice with these ads is that we only pay for that ad space if the end user actually selects the ad. So that's it, that's how it works. So here's just an overview of my ad setup then. So on the Android side, I used the app ads. On the iOS side, I used the advanced search ads, and those seem to be offering the same functionality. So I put £60 onto each side. I ran them for over a month, January of this year actually. And so on the right here, I just have samples of how the ads look. So the layout and everything is handled for you once you've set everything up. So, okay. Now, at this stage, I'd like to just highlight some of the variations in the ads setup on each side that I think are relevant for my results. So on the iOS side, when we set up the ads, we also add search phrases that we're interested in. So we're saying, if an end user enters these search phrases, I want to show my ad. And we also add with each search phrase on the iOS side, we also specify how much money we want to enter into the auction for that search phrase. So the thinking is that the more relevant a search phrase is for your app, the more money you want to invest in that ad space. Now on the Android side, we don't have that, that selection isn't available. So Android will match an ad with a search phrase if the text in the search phrase is also found in the App Store description. And also on the Android side, Android sets the bids that we enter into the auction. Now, you're able to set like a limit of how much you want to spend. But as for the specific bids for, a search phrase, that is set by Android. And that means that on the Android side, the ad space was a lot less expensive. So because Android is setting those bids, it's keeping the price low. On the iOS side, because these bids are set by humans, that seems to be raising the price up because we're bidding against each other. And the other thing I'd say about the iOS side is that, it is the advanced search ads, so there are more options and you need a bit more experience and knowledge to set up an effective ad on that side. So the Android side makes it easy because there's very little that you have to set. So I'd like to share some of the results that are relevant to what we just looked at. The thing that stands out the most is that I showed a lot more ads on the Android side for the same amount of money. And that relates to the cost of the ad space. So the way it works is that you set like a limit spend, a max spend, and when you hit your max spend, you stop entering the auctions. And I simply ran out of money a lot sooner on the iOS side. So we can see there I've written the average ad space value. And on the Android side, it was only like it was around 7p. And then on iOS side, it was over £1. So you can see it's a big difference there. The other thing that was interesting was how successful the ads are. So out of the ads that are shown, how many are actually clicked on? So again, we can see that the iOS side is low here. And looking at this slide, it looks like the metrics on each slide are exactly the same, but they're not. It's just the ratio is the same. Okay, so on the iOS side, it looks like my ads are not being shown to the right audience. So why would that be? Well, I set those search phrases on the iOS side. So maybe my search phrase list wasn't long enough. Maybe there wasn't enough variations in my search phrases. Maybe I needed to research, I needed to look more into what would be the right search phrases for my app. So that's something for me to have a look at on that side. And again, because there's more options on the iOS side, I think anybody would have to experiment a little bit, and you would have a trial and error before you get everything right. The other thing that is interesting on iOS is that they have a search match option. Now that offers the same functionality that we see with Android. I had that switched on, but the advice online that I have read is to switch it off, that it's not very strong, and just rely on your own settings and your own search phrase list on the iOS side. I would say that I liked using Search Match because iOS shares the search results with you, so you're able to see which search phrases led to my ad being shown, and of the ads shown, which ones were successful. So that's really useful information. So I liked having it switched on, although I would say that my matching results with Search Match weren't very strong either. So is that something that we should expect? I think that it is actually, because after all, Android is associated with the world's most successful search engine. And the way these ads work is very similar. So to me, it makes sense that Android would, show a strong result in this way. And so at this stage, we can summarize and say Android wins. So the ad space was less expensive. I didn't need as much expertise to enable anything. And the ad matching was more successful as well. I think it would be interesting to see what would happen if the iOS side was handled by an expert in this area. How would the results look then? Because then we're looking at the iOS side with the human setup versus the Android algorithm. I think that would be interesting to see. Anyway, so I just wanted to finish as well by looking a little bit at the finances. So each install on the Android side for me was 35p. So the way that that's worked out is we take the overall amount spent and divide by the number of installs. So I'd like to know, am I able to make that money back? You know, like from that one install. Okay, well, my app shows ads every 4 minutes. For every 1,000 ads shown in my app, I earn 44p, but you can see that's written here in front of us. So for me to earn back 35p, somebody would have to play a bug hop for more than 50 hours. So I think that's unlikely. There's also an ad-free option with my app. But the reason that I am mentioning this is because just I want to say, you know, this was an investment exercise for me. So I didn't make any money from this. But what I have now is this nice kind of setup where I can make a change to my app or my ads, and I can rerun these ads. And for, you know, a small amount of money, I'm able to reach over 100 installs, and then I can see, am I going in the right direction? So yeah, that's what I wanted to kind of step through. Those are the highlights of my experiment. So I originally wrote about this in Hacker Noon. Here's a link for that article. In there, I am stepping through a lot more of the results. I'm looking at just more of the subtle reasons why there would be a difference in results. And I'm also having a look at those search phrases. So I'm seeing, you know, how I set up the search phrases, where I think I went wrong with that, and what I learned. So that's it. So if anybody would like to ask me anything, please do.
Great. Well, thank you, Grania. That was really interesting to get your perspective. And it's actually not a bad CPI. I'm guessing that wasn't targeting sort of US or UK, or it was just a kind of general, well, most of their users in, I don't know where.
Yeah, so I set it across 5 English-speaking countries. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Oh, wow. So yeah, well, I guess it wasn't a particularly great scale, but 35p per install, a lot of people would probably take that. And Ivo is asking if you tried any of the new App Store retargeting ads or any other new ads since you did this little case study.
Sorry, I don't know what you mean. What if the new targeting?
Have you tried any other ads since you ran this?
No, I haven't. So I ran this at the start of this year. And I mean, I'll be doing some small changes, I think, over the next a few months. So I'll be taking another look, I think, in around 6 months' time. I'd also like to use Firebase next time and get some analytics going as well.
Good. Okay. Well, really appreciate you sharing the case study with us today. And yeah, it was great seeing the article on Hacker Noon. We've pasted the link there. Right. And yeah, hope you'll come back again in future and tell us about your next experiment.
I'd love to.
Great. All right.
Thanks for having me today.
Thank you.
Cheers.